Hey Nailholics, welcome back to another video, and if you're new, welcome. So I have another really fun, spooky nail art tutorial for you guys today. I'm going to show you two different ways to create a really cute bling spider. So I already went ahead and painted my nail with my base color, the Glam XOXO. I use it all the time. I'll have the link in the description box for you guys. And I also have some black gel polish, and I have some black Swarovski crystals as well. So first I'm going to create a spider web. I'm only going to do a half spider web on this nail. So starting from the middle of the nail, I'm going to create a really long line, and this is going to be the line that the spider is going to be hanging from. And then off to the side, I'm going to create the web. So I'm just drawing another line. And then once I've created the two main lines on the side, I'm going to fill in those gaps with some curved lines going down. And this sounds so confusing. Like whenever I'm trying to describe how I'm doing nail art, I feel like it's so confusing. Like it just doesn't make sense. It's just one of those things where you just kind of have to watch and then try to, recreate it. I don't know. But a spider web is like really simple. It looks intimidating, but it is really simple, I promise you guys. So once I'm satisfied with my spider web, I'm going to cure it under the lamp for 60 seconds, and then I'm going to use some Teflon glue to apply the crystals. So I'm going to put a drop of glue to the end of that really long line that I did in the middle, and I'm going to apply the biggest crystal, which is going to be the spider's body. And then I'm going to put another drop of glue in front of that first crystal, and the second crystal that I apply is slightly smaller, and that's going to be the spider's head. So once I have my crystals on, I'm going to let that dry for a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to use my black gel with a very fine detail brush, and I'm going to start drawing the legs on. So I like to draw 2 lines going forward and 2 lines going backwards. And that's just kind of like my guide for where I want the legs to go. And you could leave it like this, but I think it looks better when you add a little bit more detail in. So I'm now gonna start drawing some like additional lines towards the end of them, just kind of pointing inward. And again, like I'm so sorry you guys if my explanation is confusing, but hopefully you can just like see it and follow along. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And like I said, you don't have to draw the legs exactly the way that I did it. You can definitely tweak this to your liking. This is just the way that I like to do it. So once I'm finished with the legs, I cured that for 60 seconds, and now I'm applying my base coat around the crystals. And since these are Swarovski, I'm not going to go over them. I'm going to go around, because if you go over them, then you'll dull the shine. And I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds, and now I'm applying my no wipe top coat. I'm going to cure that for another 60 seconds, and this is the final result. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how to do a super blinged out spider. I'm going to be using this extra long tapered square nail tip, and I used Beetle's B157 for my base color. It's like a really milky white. And here are my crystals that I'm going to be using, and I also have these gold cuticle bars. And I couldn't decide like how I wanted my spider body to look, because you can change this up and really use whatever you want, but I decided to go with the more diamond shape. And like I said, I have these cuticle bars, and some of them I cut in half and others I just kind of left long, but this is what we're going to use to create the spider. So I'm going to start by applying a generous amount of nail glue to the middle of this nail, because I just want the spider to be in the center. I want it to like completely take over the nail. And I'm going to apply the body first, And again, you could really use whatever shape that you want. You can turn it however you want. This is just how I chose to do mine. And now I'm going to apply the smaller crystal, which is the head. And I'm going to put this to the side to dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to kind of move my cuticle bars around to kind of figure out how I want the legs to look. I like to do this because it just makes the process a lot faster. And, you know, it just gives me a visual idea so that I'm not like wasting glue or making a mess trying to figure out what looks good and what doesn't, you know? And another thing about these cuticle bars, if you're applying the long ones as is, you're probably going to need to straighten them out a little bit, because if you apply it to the nail, since they're curved, they're going to kind of like want to meet, and then it's just going to look like one big like half circle, and then that's not going to look good because these are supposed to be spider legs, so you really need them to be separated, you know? So I just straightened those out a little bit, and I put it back down on my plate to see how it's looking, and once I'm satisfied, I can go ahead and apply it to the nail. So I went ahead and applied my glue, and at first I was trying to use this wax picker to pick up the cuticle bars because I thought that it would, you know, go by faster. But for some reason, the cuticle bar did not want to stick to the wax, so I had to just switch back to my tweezers, which worked out a lot better. After I started using the tweezers, it really went by pretty smooth. And then also, you know, having the legs already laid out really helps as well. The only issue I really ran into was when I got to the back legs of the spider. I did have to move the bars around a little bit because at first I thought I could put the shorter bar on the inside and have the longer bar on the outside like that, but that didn't look good, and it was looking kind of like jumbled. So I took the smaller bar off and I applied the longer one first instead, and then I applied the smaller one on the outside, and that fit perfectly. It looked really good. And so once I have everything in place and I'm satisfied, I go over it with a generous amount of glue and I allow that to dry, and then I work on the other side. And since I know exactly where everything should go, it goes by a lot faster. So once all the glue is dry, I go ahead and apply my base coat. I'm gonna go over the cuticle bars and around the crystals. Now these are not Swarovski, these are just really high quality rhinestones, and I'll have the link to these in the description box as well. But I'm going around them because they have a really nice shine, and going over them is gonna actually dull them because, like I said, these are higher quality. So I go over that with base coat, I cure it for 60 seconds, and now I'm applying my no wipe top coat. And again, I'm going over the cuticle bars and around the crystals. I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds, and this is the final results. So here are both of the designs that I did today. Here's the first spider that I did. It's really simple. And then here is the super blinged out spider. Let me know which spider is your favorite. Which one are you most likely to do on yourself? Me personally, I am terrified of spiders, so I probably would never do spider nail art on my own nails. But I think the little crystal blinged out spiders are super cute. Anyway, you guys, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.